Okay, so you may have heard the saying, let's agree to disagree, which we agree that we're disagreeing. That's fine. But we can remain happily incompatible so we can just still get along. But this one's different. What if the Congress and the Senate actually disagreed that they do agree, when they actually agree on the exact same thing, but they're disagreeing that they agree on the exact same thing? It's a totally new, confusing place. So I disagree that we totally agree. When the sentence is the same, everything in the sentence is the same, the lines are drawn the same, but we disagree that we agree. We can't agree. It's impossible for us to agree. I disagree that we totally agree. If I haven't confused you, I'll let them do it for you, because we have a mess on our hands, people. Somebody say, hey, I want my 10K. Somebody, give it to me. Somebody, give it to me. Somebody. Yeah. Somebody say, hey, we want a 10K. Yeah. Hey, we want a 10K. Yeah. Hey, we want a 10K. Yeah. Hey, we want a 10K. Give it to me. Me and my friends, we like to play this game. Ladies and gentlemen, it is good to see you today. Thank you for joining us here at Speak and See. We ask that you like and subscribe if you enjoy the content regarding the SBA with PPP, EIDL, and the EIDL Grants and loans, etc., for small businesses. If anybody's been paying attention to the EIDL grant situation, we have realized that we have entered into the land of confusion. And it seems to be an okay land for the politicians that are dealing with us in this. They seem to be okay with this confusion. They seem to actually like it. That's the sad part. And they seem to be feeding into it so that we can stay blind as to, do they owe us money? What does consent mean? What does voluntary mean? What does anything mean? Nobody's telling me anything. Can we get answers from them, or do they not have answers to give? Well, we're going to go over that, and the truth is, they don't have answers to give. Anyway, I ask that you like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.
Senator Kennedy and then Senator Leahy.
I think we have unity in confusion here. It's either voluntary or it's not. Now, and I'd like to vote for this if it's voluntary.
The first line of business here is to get forth the good news. We will put the good news out there first. People are being reevaluated and accepted for their $10,000 EIDL grant. Watch this. On the 27th, 2 days ago, Isaac Del R. said, same for me, SBA declined target advance. I contacted senators. I emailed SBA multiple times and then did the reevaluation email. Surprised, I got today an email approving remaining 10K, and I'm waiting the button for applying for 5K because my taxes show I got 50% reduction for their approval. Great news, right? Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going to get out there and say, hey, everybody's getting EIDL grants now. Did we read that correctly? Let me guess. Let me just, I am not happy about that at all. I'm glad that he finally got his 10K, but if we read that in a more diselegant manner, he said, I contacted senators and emailed the SBA multiple times, then did the reevaluation. He's having to contact senators for his EIDL grant that they promised everybody. If everybody has to go through that and contact the senators, we'll be dead, and our grandchildren will be trying to get that EIDL grant for us. This is ridiculous. It's not good news. This is horrible news. Horrible. Where's Tom Brady when you need him? So then we see another follower on Twitter say this. Mary Alice Duff. She put it out there, so we're going to put it out there for her. I have sent emails to every SBA department with my new information. I have called SBA Customer Service Center and provided this information, and the reps are only able to, quote, add a note, not change bank information. Yeah, I know. So where do we go from here? Well, if we're having to contact our senators and local congressmen, then I'm sure they know exactly what's going on, right? Let me just show you exactly how much these people in charge of putting out amendments and getting us the information and getting us our grants that they signed for know. Even our own congressman. Watch Cawthorn. You got to watch this. This guy gets up there and he says, "Hey, it's smoke and mirrors. I don't even know what's going on. I try to get a straight answer from these people, and they can't tell me nothing. I don't think they even know what's going on." Watch this.
It's very, very sad, but the problem is this is exactly how the Joe Biden Washingtonians are operating. They want to use smoke and mirrors, and they don't want to have anything transparent. I know some people were offended by some mean tweets by President Trump, but at least we knew what the man was thinking. At least we knew what our government was doing for us. Right now, even me as a member of Congress, with all of the rights and privileges that gives me, I can hardly get any answers, so I can only imagine the frustration that the American people are suffering right now. We've got to take the majority away from these bastards. They are hiding away from what's actually happening in this country, and it's a pathetic worse.
I can already hear it from the people out there. Why are you promoting the Republicans? No, I'm not promoting the Republicans here, okay? I am just giving you a view on what one of the congressmen themselves is saying, I can't get any information. We're as blind as you are, people, and we don't have a way to get the information from our congressmen or senators or a president or the Biden administration. Yeah, so if y'all remember yesterday when I contacted Marjorie Taylor Greene's office, her representative said he didn't have a clue about it either. Remember? Here's that call.
Which EIDL grant?
The section 1110 in the Cares Act, the one that the S513 that actually Rosen is trying to put on board, the one where they promised $10,000 to every small business.
So I don't know if she has or not. I don't want to say yes or no.
Okay. So I
don't have a definitive answer on that.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, have a great day.
Look, I am not pointing fingers here at the Biden administration. I went through this for 8 months with the Trump administration too. So I am not, trust me, this is not about Biden. But what we really do have is a problem in the system being one is confusing the next. Just as much as, and I'm going to show you something here, and it may be a little disturbing. There is a lot of confusion with the Congress and the senators out there right now. There's just a lot of confusion. They're even admitting it's coming straight out of their mouths themselves. John Kennedy even said, "Dude, this is unity and confusion here." Watch this piece right here. It's going to help you understand what we're actually dealing with, and it's quite sad.
And both of the sponsors of this bill have repeatedly represented that participation would be voluntary, that it was not mandatory. What this amendment does is it makes clear that that's the case. And
Mr. Chairman,
Senator Hirono?
voluntary means voluntary. That's it. So it's very clear that no employer can force the employee who happens to be part of a patent application to disclose anything. That's voluntary. So your amendment, Senator, adds additional unnecessary requirements that have no practical benefit. Voluntary means voluntary.
if I could ask Senator Hirono what additional requirements that have no benefit?
Oh, the requirement to get an express consent
You just said it was
from
voluntary.
the individual.
But you just said it was voluntary. So
So why does there need to be an express consent if the employee doesn't, if the employee doesn't want to participate, disclose that information, doesn't have to do so?
How is something
Why is there a
voluntary
need
if
for
there's
an
not
express consent?
And is it an unnecessary protection to protect the employee against discrimination and an adverse employment action? Why is that unnecessary?
It's voluntary, so
Senator Kennedy and then Senator Leahy.
I think we have unity and confusion here. It's either voluntary or it's not. Now, and I'd like to vote for this if it's voluntary.
So what did we just witness there, ladies and gentlemen? What did we just see between Mazi Hirono and Senator Ted Cruz. Well, what we saw is what Senator John Kennedy just said. Dude, we've got unity and confusion here. So in this piece, we see Senator Kennedy is literally saying you guys are confused and you're agreeing to be confused. Together, you guys are in unity with confusion, and it's not a good place. So Kennedy tries to weed out the confusion, and let's see if he can do that.
Senator Kennedy and then Senator Leahy.
I think we have unity in confusion here. It's either voluntary or it's not. Now, and I'd like to vote for this if it's voluntary. But I don't see the harm in Senator Cruz's amendment. The holder of the patent either gives consent or she doesn't. Now, she has to give informed consent, I assume. That means they have to tell her it's voluntary. But I don't understand what we're arguing about here.
Senator Kennedy, the person who is involved gives consent by disclosing the information. That is consent.
But if I'm a patent holder.
This is not like some operation that you have to give informed consent on.
But
It's totally voluntary.
But you said, Senator, I'm really trying to understand why you're disagreeing with Senator Cruz's amendment. If it's voluntary, if I'm a holder of the patent, and you come to me and say, Kennedy, do you want to disclose? And I say, no. That's what Senator Cruz is giving me the right to do. And it would seem to me, if it's voluntary, as you say, and I believe you, Maisie, what's the problem?
The problem is that this amendment is not necessary. If the employee does not want to disclose that information as part of a patent application, where this information, by the way, is kept totally separate, that information is not given.
That's what
And
Fed
that is
say.
it.
That's what Cruz
That
is
is
saying.
it. That is the decision.
What's wrong with
So-
belt and suspenders?
Mr. Chairman, if I could
You know,
mention,
why do we want to add additional language that doesn't add anything to the purpose of this bill, which is simply to collect data that we currently don't have? And don't we want a vibrant patent system where
Of course we do, but that's not the
understand- so-
subject.
Okay, so there we have Kennedy saying, I don't get it. What are you trying to say, Mazzy Hirono of Hawaii? What are you trying to say? Cruz is saying the same thing you're saying, but you don't want to put what he's saying in there because it kind of even agrees with what you're saying. I understand what Mazzy's saying is it adds a little more red tape than it should, but it's still kind of, it means the same thing. But there's so much confusion that these are the people responsible for getting our EIDL grant. So when we call these senators and congressmen up and we say, hey, can you tell me about our EIDL grants and why I'm not getting it? And they say,
I don't have a definitive answer on that.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think they mean it. I think it's true. I mean, what we're dealing with here, I mean, I'm gonna let this thing play out because I take you guys deep here. I take you deeper than maybe what we need to go. I'm not doing the Max, he has his place. All these other players have their place, but I'm taking you behind the scenes and the back doors to show you what we're dealing with here, the beast, the animals that we're trying to handle here, where their heads are at. Because if we don't know what they're thinking, how are we supposed to believe what they're saying?
Senator, that's not the subject. The subject is the definition of voluntary. And if there's disagreement between the bill's author and a member of this committee, that leads me to believe that it may not be as voluntary as we would like it to be. And I want us to go full voluntary.
And Senator Hirono, I have to say, I don't understand the response that you're giving, because your first response is this amendment is unnecessary because the bill already does it. And your next response is, but the amendment is really burdensome. It can't be both unnecessary
I'm not saying it's
and
burdensome, Senator Cruz. I am saying it is unnecessary. There's a difference.
So if it's
between
unnecessary,
burdensome and
why wouldn't
unnecessary.
you just agree to it? If the bill already does what this amendment says, why wouldn't you agree to the amendment? If your argument is your bill already does this, what is the harm of this amendment?
Why are you proposing an amendment that is unnecessary?
Because I want to protect the voluntariness of the inventor.
Senator Leahy.
Mr. Chairman,
We obviously have a disagreement.
I think
Okay, guys, that's the Senate of the Judiciary Committee right there. Dick Durbin. Look how confused he is. He's even like, what? I don't get it. What are you guys talking about? This is bad. This is really bad. So here you've seen them go from voluntary to consent to voluntariness. Kind of all the same thing. The consent's a little bit different than the voluntary. Voluntariness is kind of the same as voluntary. But what we're getting is they're talking about a patent for the employer that has hired the employee to produce something, and the employee makes it this thing. And anyway, it's about a patent. So it doesn't really have anything to do with our EIDL grants, but it does have to do with the EIDL grants because it's all about the wording in the text and how they came up with wording our EIDL grant. And the next one that comes out, will it be worded by the same attorneys that worded that, where they don't even know what congressmen who are reading it and signing it don't even understand what it means, the intent, what the intent was supposed to be, which leaves us all perfectly confused as far as they want. They want you to be perfectly confused. And that's where they're trying to put us right now. But the thing is, they're the ones that are confused. As you see what we're watching right now, they are confused, not you, not the business owner, not the small business owners who read it and signed it and said, yeah, I get $10,000 for my business as I shut down. We know exactly what we signed. We know exactly what we read. And we know exactly what they're trying to do, and we are not going to let them. Which is why we brings us today. I'm sorry I had to go so deep with you guys here, but you know, Max has his place. Skip has his place. They all have their place, and nobody goes in depth as I do because I want you to know what's behind the scenes. You guys, you're getting informed here. You're getting educated on what we're dealing with. So I want to say the next thing we're dealing with, as we did Marjorie Taylor Greene, we have not got a response back from Marjorie Taylor Greene. So, hey, call a duck a duck. Now we're going to go with the exact opposite of Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're going with AOC, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez from the Bronx, New York. I will put up her information here. You guys, we're going to call, we're going to tweet, we're going to get with her, and we're going to say, Bill S513, we want our EIDL grants that were promised to us. Help us out. Take it to the floor. Help us get it through Congress. Take it to Nydia Velázquez because she's a congresswoman. She can actually just go and sign something and say, hey, Nydia, let's go do this for these small businesses. We'll beat the Republicans to the punch. Well, whoever wants to be that hero for the small businesses, we're open. We're open for you. So, arms wide open, guys. So this is the information right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, House Representative in Congress. She is in the New York District 14. Her number is, this is what we're going to do. We're going to call this number. We're going to call 202-225-3965. And we are going to say, speak, give us an example. Absolutely will. Let me get my phone.
You've reached Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. To hear this menu in English, please press 1. Para español, por favor. Hi, this is Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. Thank you for calling my Washington, D.C. office. To leave a comment or suggestion, please press 1.
Thank you for calling the office of Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. Federal, state, and local officials have advised that social distancing is critical to preventing the spread of COVID-19. As such, staff in the Congresswoman's D.C. and district offices will shortly begin telecommuting. If you are a constituent or congressional office, please leave a message on this line. staff will return all messages from constituents with casework needs or other congressional offices during normal business hours. Meetings and other business will be conducted by phone or video. Constituents can also access information, request a meeting, and or file casework requests online at ocasio-cortez.house.gov. Thank you for your understanding.
Record your message after the tone. When you've finished, you can hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hello, Ms. Cortez. This is speaknsee on the YouTube channel speaknsee. I'm calling in regards to the EIDL grant that was promised to small businesses during the Cares Act. It was promised that we'd all get $10,000 for our small businesses as we closed our doors. That promise has been broken. We have just got with Marjorie Green Taylor, or Taylor Green, whatever her name is. She hasn't done nothing for us. So we are trying everybody and anybody who will help out the small businesses all across America, including in your great state of New York. Please, we would like to see the small businesses get their $10,000 EIDL grants regardless of size or location, as promised in the CARES Act. Senator Rosen had put a bill out for it, S513. I know that's the Senate and all, but if you could put something out to Nydia Velasquez and say, hey, can we get this for the people? And maybe talk to Guzman at the SBA and say, hey, small businesses are going down because we didn't get that grant out to them as we promised. We would greatly appreciate. We want to thank you for all you're doing, and please help us with the EIDL grant for $10,000 for all small businesses, regardless of all size or location or color or gender. It don't matter. We're all Americans here. We're in this together, and we would like to see you step up to the plate and be the hero for small businesses today. Thank you very much, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye. And that's how we do it. Today we go for Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. This is we tried Marjorie Taylor Greene, nothing yet. It can all change though. It may change. Well, let's hope it does, and let's hope somebody steps up to the plate and gets us that 10K, guys. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope this gives a little bit of clarity of more of what we're dealing with. For all of you that are out there and pushing to get it, keep pushing. Don't stop. We're not going to stop until their promise is fulfilled, that we get the full $10,000 EIDL grant for every single business in America that was promised it in regards to the CARE Act. The limits are going up to $2 million. We get that. That's coming out. And we're trying to get this thing forgiven for you as well as far as the loans, the EIDL loans go. I believe it will be. I'm not sure exactly how much or whatever, but I do have some really good information on that as well. Actually, I can bring up later that it's looking promising to get the first portion of that loan forgiven right now as far as that goes. So I'll bring another video up on that as well, but I've done a lot of homework on it, and I'm seeing a very, very good, a very, very positive sign that I've dug deep to find in Congress, actually in the Senate, with the bills that have been passed already that will help you get the EIDL loans portion of it terminated. So that'll be good news. Guys, I want to thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe. Have a blessed day. Remember, call right now. Call Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. Let's try to get her on the horn with this and see if she can help us out. Guys, have a blessed day. Go Bucks. Bye-bye.